So, do you ever feel like you're constantly thinking about food? You're planning your next meal, you're thinking, is this food good or bad? You are just constantly obsessing about food. There's no moment where something about food doesn't go through your head. You walk past the mirror, you think, oh my God, I need to go on a diet. You think about what you ate at that meal, you feel guilty. It's exhausting. This is what many people call food noise. And today I want to talk to you about where does this food noise come from for emotional eaters so that you actually understand where it's coming from, and that it's not that you lack willpower. So this food noise is this constant chatter in your head. You feel like you're constantly questioning what you're eating, if you should eat, are you hungry? Did I eat something good? I shouldn't have eaten that. It's a constant micromanaging of your food. Does this have too many calories? Did I eat too many calories? All of this comes up. It can even go into if you're trying to be healthy and follow a diet. Does this have enough macros? It feels like it's obsessive. It doesn't feel like a normal amount of thinking about food, like right before you have to have a meal or you're planning out your meal. Like there's no calmness around it. In my experience, this food noise comes from two places when you're an emotional eater. The first place I see this food noise coming from is from a state of restriction. You're restricting calories, you're restricting nutrients, you can only have certain macronutrients. And essentially what you're doing is putting your body into a state where it's not getting enough nourishment. And so your brain needs nourishment, it needs nutrients, it needs calories to operate. And if it doesn't have that, it kind of sends a signal to start obsessing about food, that you need to eat more food, you need to have more food. And so if you are not nourishing yourself, your brain is going to say, I'm still hungry. You might eat a lot of calories, but if it doesn't have the right amount of nutrients in it, your brain is still going to say, I need more food because I'm not actually being satisfied. I'm not meeting the nutritional needs of the body. And so you're going to keep obsessing about food. And what I find with a lot of clients is that they are micromanaging how they're eating because they feel so out of control with food because they are an emotional eater. They feel like they have to control food, that if they don't keep they don't constantly manage it, that they're going to go off the rails. And it's actually playing into their emotional eating as well. But when you're physically restricting food, your brain is going to say, I need more calories. And this also has physiological impact on your mood. It's putting you into a stress state. It's adding to your mental chatter. It's adding to your emotional stress. And that doesn't help when you're an emotional eater as well. So the first case that you have food noise is you need to eat more. You need to have more nourishment and nutrients in your body. The second place that food noise comes from is when you're an emotional eater and you are using food to soothe yourself from discomfort, distress. It could be the little things of the day to the deeper traumas. What I find is that they're all completely linked because you never really learned how to move through your emotional discomfort, to move through your emotions. You dismiss them and you've relied on food to soothe yourself, to cope. And so your brain also loves efficiency. And so if it knows that it is not feeling great, it's upset, there's an emotion, it can't regulate the nervous system, it's in an activated state, it's going to say, go to food. This is what has helped us in the past and it's going to continue helping us. And so you're going to constantly be thinking about food to manage your emotions. And so this becomes a double whammy for emotional eaters. So you're trying to manage your emotional eating with diets or restriction, or you just feel like you have no idea how to nourish your body because food has always been a coping mechanism. So you're trying to fit yourself into a box to eat the right way, but you're not connected to your body, and inadvertently you are restricting calories, you're not nourishing yourself enough, or you're people pleasing and missing meals. There's a lot of things that go into this restriction mode. And then you're also using food to soothe yourself from discomfort, distress. So at the end of the day, you're going to give in because you've overflowed your bucket of stressors. Your body is now in overflow mode. The stressors are coming out and there's no more willpower to get you through. And so emotional eating will take over. So how do you quiet this food noise? Well, it's recognizing where it's coming from and to start working with these areas. And when I'm working with women inside of the emotional eating evolution program, we're always looking at these two areas. I haven't had a client come in and they eat perfectly. They always have some type of diet mentality or restrictive mentality around food. And that doesn't help them to connect to their body and know what's going to nourish them. They also have this old idea, in our society, it's like calories in equals calories out. And that's like a basic math equation, but our body is not basic. It's not doing basic math. There is our nervous system. There are stressors. There are different elements at play. And the food that we're eating, just because, something that it's processed, it has 100 calories versus an apple that has 100 calories. It's not going to digest the same way in our body. It's not going to nourish our body in the same way, and it's going to have downstream effects. And so we have to take that into consideration. We can't just say calories in equals calories out. And a lot of my clients, they are trying to lose weight because with emotional eating, if you think you're eating extra, but you're also in a very dysregulated nervous system that makes you hold on to weight. So it's not a basic calories in equals calories out. And so restriction doesn't help you physically because your brain's going to say, I need to have food. And so you need to start learning to nourish your body. You need to start working with your body. And there are principles around this that I teach to clients. There is a structure that they use to learn to nourish their bodies, to see how food feels in their bodies, to help with their digestion, to make sure they're satisfying their hunger on all levels. And this is not like intuitive eating. You just eat whatever you want. You're tuning into your true hunger. Your body doesn't want to eat excess amounts of calories. It wants to eat what it needs to nourish itself. And that's important. And it's not about calories in equals calories out. We have to look at food more holistically. The other area we need to also be looking at is, when are you actually emotionally eating? When are you going to food to soothe your discomfort, your distress, your emotional triggers? And we're looking at that, looking at the triggers and doing the deeper work in the body somatically to start healing that pattern at the root that may have come from, childhood, from trauma, from deeper layers. And you're learning how to move through your emotions. You're learning to build that skill so that you can feel more at ease. You're not running to food. And when you couple these together, that is what heals this food noise, because you're no longer running to food because you physically need more food, and you're no longer running to food. Like, your brain is not saying go to food because you're using it as a band-aid to cope with your emotions. And so this is we've got different things happening here, and we have to look at them, all of these layers to really heal that food noise. And so when I'm working with women, we start to see that food noise really decline when we start nourishing the body, allowing the body to have food, and also doing the deeper work with the triggers. You start seeing it more clearly when it's really about the emotions. And so this is really powerful when we do this work together. So it's not just about finding the right diet. It's not just about just going to therapy. We have to look at this holistically. And so inside of the Emotional Eating Evolution program, this is what we're doing. We're looking at this pattern at all layers so you can resolve your emotional eating and start to feel at ease and peace around food and in your body, and let go of this food noise and this obsession and have that clarity and that calm that you're really searching for. And so if you'd like to find out more about the program, you can find out more at the link below. This is my 12-week process. It has support and guidance, office hours, one-to-one sessions with me, and the deeper tools to shift this pattern. And if you're looking for that support and you want to start feeling that ease and peace around food and in your body, I'd love to invite you to find out more about the program, and as the next step, to book in an emotional eating clarity call to see how I can support you in this journey. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.